Ball swinging somewhat to make an impression for Pramod Madhushan.
Yeah, he's got a little slingy action. He comes a lot closer than Fernando. So he will probably be able to attack from the offside. But you cannot really keep bowling those full length Yorkers. Get to the length. If you bowl length, yeah, this is better. A decent pace, 137.5. Yeah, it's very different to Fernando. Runs in, hustles in quite nicely. He's not totally side on, but gets in a good position. A little slingy. He's not very high arm, but presents the seam very nicely.
Similar height to Asita Fernando. And, both get onto the batter a little quicker than you expect. That's what... oh boy, it's gone all wrong. 5 wides.
So far, whatever we have seen, no good from Sri Lanka. Both bowlers spraying it around, bowling on to the pads. This 5 wide is not going to really help. There's plenty of swing there for them, but the lines are totally off.
And the swing will disappear very fast. That happens with the white ball, and also signs of dew out there. Moment it runs onto the outfield and that seam gets a little soggy or even slightly moist, the swing will disappear.
Well, that's where you want to be as a bowler. You don't want to just swing the ball in the air. You also want some help from the surface. That if you land the seam and if it's deviate off the surface, will cause more problem to the batters, because swing is not going to really harm them. If anything off the surface, that is going to be a problem for the batters.
Two left-handers still there. Sri Lanka not really challenging them. The two fast bowlers are getting swing, but Wayward, all right. Still quite wide of the stumps compared to Pramod Madhushan is Asita Fernando. You mentioned back spin when Asita Fernando is bowling, and that's all to do with wrist position.
Yeah, one, you have to have a really good wrist position, and then you got to make sure that when he's running in, he just locks the wrist. Let's have a close look on the wrist when he runs in. There you go. See that where when he locks his wrist is kind of locked, so he's going to flick it. That is gone for 4. That flick didn't work this time.
It did. Flick of the bat. But Asita Fernando should not worry about that delivery. That was Fakhar Zaman coming at you. He took a chance, and it works for him.
Yeah, again, beautiful seam position, but Fakhar Zaman had enough. That is the worry for Fernando, because once he goes toward that off stump and from that wide angle, the ball's not going to swing much, and then player like Fakhar Zaman, who likes to hit straight and mid-wicket, that can come in the arc. Watch that wrist getting locked. There. That wrist is locked now, so it will come out nicely.
So now all of a sudden the ball not swinging much. And that happens. Momentum. Ball gets slightly moist, that seam. The slip has disappeared. Deep square leg in place, short fine.
Not only that, you also got to think that this is not the same pitch what we played the previous match. This has got less grass, it's very dry, so spinners have more say. So whatever swing available is probably for 4, 5, maybe 6 overs.
That'll be 4. He's finding his timing. Fakhar Zaman, not good for Sri Lanka.
Well, this sort of player, this type of batter, when he gets going, things become really easy for the rest. Just pivoted nicely on his front foot, just made sure that he times it well and hits it in the gap.
Now if he tried to hit that hard, he would have hit it to square leg. But he knew there was a fielder there, and he makes sure he touches it. A slight little swivel, that's clever batting.
Yeah, against a new ball, you don't have to really hit really hard. You got to really time it. The new ball travels very quickly. Yes, good comeback.
Now all of a sudden, full face at the bat. He was very scratchy in the first ODI. Just couldn't get going. First couple of shots, if we can go back to it, you'll see it's a close-faced. But once you get a couple of boundaries, you start breathing easy, you start believing, and suddenly your hands relax, and it becomes a different ball game. .27 for none after 3. Ball did swing for both Asita Fernando and Pramod Madhushan. But then again, the line you start from, the line you attack, that's very important. Sri Lanka was 16 for no loss after 3. Pakistan doing even better. 288 for 8, where Sri Lanka were going. I just feel 20 runs short though. It's a good score, but the opportunity was,
yeah, with this sort of total, you need early wickets. And the ball was swinging for at least 2-3 overs, and it was very wavered from the Sri Lankan bowlers. When you have such a target, which is kind of in between, not a great target or not something which you feel that it's not enough. And they were all over the place from the word go. Very first delivery on the legs, again on the legs. A couple of occasions he missed out actually. And again wide. Lucky that he got stopped. And this one down the leg side. Very difficult for the wicketkeeper also. You cannot blame him for if he let one go, or if something just hit his hand and go for 4.
Lovely. You don't run for those.
Wow, this was very elegant. Saim Ayub just making sure he plants his front foot perfect, and then watch that. Don't have to say much. And he can hold it for a pose also. Lovely shot.
That forces the slip to disappear again. You highlighted the wayward bowling, and Kusal Mendes trying to stop a few deliveries. His fingers take a beating. You mentioned finger breaker. And after the first ball, it was... Oh, they dropped his towel. And after trying to collect the first ball of this over, it was pretty straightforward, but grimacing in pain. The finger breaker doing its thing, and now he's going to struggle right throughout the innings.
And it's also cold for you Sri Lankans, isn't it? Not easy.
Just look at him. Look at Janit Lianage at mid-off. That's a short fine leg.
I know it's very cold. Yeah, you can clearly see he's hurting inside those gloves. Wicketkeepers normally have those broken fingers, and because they've been doing for years, and they have strapping and all that. But if it hits on top of that and you're not in control, it hurts more, and wicket keeping becomes very difficult. You always reluctant, then you don't really put your hands with full authority.
7:20 p.m. here in Rawalpindi. Imagine what it'll be like at 8:30 p.m.
Yeah, these lights are going to be still on. They'll be still here. Don't worry about that. It's not going to finish that quickly.
He timed it and he was off for a single. Suddenly realized, I got to say no here. The initial call was for yes, Fakhar Zaman.
Well, the swing is gone. That's for sure. It's up and down now. Fakhar wanted to take single.
Where are you going, man? Both left-handers looking confident, getting behind the ball. Doing it easy for the moment. 4 ball, 33 for none.
मैं हमेशा रेकमेंड करता हूँ शैम्पू प्लस हेयर सीरम का ड्यूल एक्शन। न्यू सेट एंड टच केराटिन शैम्पू बालों के डैमेज सेल्स को रीजनरेट करें। सेट एंड टच केराटिन शैम्पू।
.288 for 8. Starts for a lot of Sri Lankan batters. Janit Lianage, the only one to go past that 50 mark. Positive start, positive reply from Pakistan. Bakar, the swing disappearing so quickly. Is it that the bowlers have changed their technique because the runs are leaking, or length?
It's a big fear factor also, remember, because bowlers bowl poorly in the first couple of overs and then suddenly realize that we've leaked too many runs. We have to pull the length back. And also, don't forget, when you've given runs in your first couple of overs, your mechanism, your body mechanism doesn't work the same.
They're looking to survive.
Yeah, when you're looking to survive and then your wrists don't come the way it normally does. Oh,
it gets worse. It doesn't get any better for Sri Lanka because he'll get a warning as well, a free hit.
Yeah, warning in his third over. That is never a good sign. Ball, I guess, slipping out of his hand. I don't think he's very damp out there, a little slippery maybe. That's another finger breaker.
I think it was a slower ball gone wrong. More pressure.
Free hit for Zaman to deal with.
Because the batter's changed, the captain can change the field. So third man and square leg come into the circle. That's deep mid wicket. And the long on pushed out for Sam Ayub. Here's the free hit. Oh, the fielder wouldn't have mattered. He's picked that up and it's gone for 6.
Has he not seen Sam Ayub bat? You bowled him in the area where he loves it, and that to a free hit. That is asking trouble onto his bat. Watch him. Watch those hands go. Normally, he plays a no-look shot on that sort of delivery, but this time he just glanced it a touch. But what a hit. That's poor bowling.
It sure is. Now what do you do? We're talking about a bowler trying to survive. He probably doesn't want to bowl the next 4 balls now.
It's so crucial to start well as a bowler. If we, don't give easy runs, don't bowl those leg-sided deliveries. Get into your groove. And I think both the bowlers, they got it wrong in the very first over, their first over. Bowling all over the leg side, and because swing is gone and now they have to pull the length back. Pulling length means it's easier for Sam Ayub and Fakhar.
The fuller length is an attacking length where you're thinking a wicket.
Ayub and Fakhar.
The fuller length is an attacking length where you're thinking a wicket and you're searching. Hammered in front of square. The ball's flying to all parts.
He's got such a fast hand, Sam Ayub. If he picks the length at the right second, he can do this. Watch that. Look at that. Although the ball was very close to him, he was a little cramped, but the hands were so quick. Boom.
He'll have to change his bowlers around. Asita Fernando is usually Sri Lanka's banker. You always need those bankers.
Key now. You have to bring him inside the power play. You delay, you're in trouble. You need to break this partnership.
Upish.
You need to break this partnership.
Upish. But it hits hard. Sam Ayub. Well, he's enjoying himself.
He was looking to come down the pitch to deal with the swing or the length the ball is looking to bowl, and then realized that it's short. I can actually hit it behind point. The ball is skidding off the turf now, going quickly to the boundary.
It goes down off the head coach.
And that's never a good sign.
He tried around the wicket. Now he's back over the wicket. .49 for none, Pakistan. That was a free hit. Even better. All off the middle of the bat. Yes, it'll make your head hurt if you're a bowler. If you don't pick up wickets, that white worm will run away, will keep running away. We talk about bankers.
Wear your attitude. Darren Sami by Asghar Ali.
LANKA would probably have liked to bring him in later, but forced. Pakistan's openers are striking it to all parts. Oh, good start, bit of extra bounce. 1,100 plus branches. Bank Alfala's current network. Open your current account at the nearest branch to enjoy various free services and earn Orbit rewards by maintaining or growing your balance. He's looking for the nearest branch.
Are you sure?
Well, the two boys next to us, they'll be looking. They are always looking around, but not for a bank branch. Chamira's a little quicker than the other two fast bowlers. Lanky taller. I really like watching him run in. Very smooth. Bit of extra bounce for him too.
Yeah, he's going to be the key man with Hasaranga. I think Hasaranga might have to come a little earlier than he normally come and bowl, just for the sake of team, to get a wicket or two.
I might just hold him back though, Waqar. Two left-handers. And nowadays, players and teams look at those matchups. LANKA, off-spinner, two left-handers. Nice easy run-up, lanky he is. Gets close to the stumps, just like the other fast bowlers. Locks that wrist. And hits the deck hard, Dushmantha Chamira. Suffered with lots of injuries his career. Was stop-start. But of late, playing consistently and ever improving. You talk him up, and he bowls that wide. 50 on the board for Pakistan.
Came at good rate. That's the key for Pakistan. Opening partnership of any game is important.
There you go. The hand warmer.
Oh my God.
There you go. There you go.
I don't have problem with hand warmers as long as they keep their hands out of their pockets, because some of them were like having their hand in the pocket while the ball was delivered.
Little tea bags they are, and the moment you keep playing around with them, they heat up. And
is definitely more smarter, Chamira. Earlier he had pace and he looked to bowl really quickly. Used to leak a lot of runs, but now his pace, of course, is down with the age. He's 33 now, but he's got much better control, and of course he's injury free now.
Oh, that's unlucky from Chamira's point of view. It's run away for 4, just missed the stumps.
Yeah, we've seen this entire day. Ball has missed stumps through the inside edge. It was almost just shaving the leg stump. Sri Lanka need a bit of luck to stay in the game, because these two, the way they bat, they'll take the game away very quickly.
They'll need to believe, they'll need to hang in there. Keep your chin up and keep going. First ODI, first 10 overs, Sri Lanka 75 for no loss, and then lost their way. It's a good over, really good over from Chamira. 54 for none. Good start by Chamira, but the other two fast bowlers, very expensive. Yeah, Sri Lanka, he's brought himself on. Now can he provide? This is Sri Lanka's 5th bowling option. It's mix and match. But if he can get through a couple good overs here to just bring Sri Lanka back in a little bit. Pakistan going at 9-0 at the moment.
I have a feeling that these two left-handers not going to let him settle.
You bowl like that, no one's settling.
Yeah, that's the pressure. I mean, Sri Lanka is not regular right arm off spinner. He's a part-timer, and already Pakistan have established the partnership, so they're not going to allow him to just hang around for too long. This was a little bit wide, had a bit of room to just play that shot. Played it nicely.
Nicely played, he tossed that up. Oh dear, it's raining. Raining boundaries here in Rawalpindi.
You bowl short, he'll deal it differently. But you're not allowed to give flight. That was right up there for Saim Ayub to take no risk and play that beautiful drive through that gap. There was a huge gap there between cover and mid-off. Easy pickings.
There's deep mid-wicket, and now a long off. First 10 overs, you're allowed just the 2 fielders outside the circle. That's the challenge. And that's why he wants to hold Hasaranga back. So when he can spread the field, his variations come into the game a lot more. Because you tend to bowl flat, and that would mean you're not being that wicket-taking option that you like to be. Because a spinner, he needs to deceive the batter in the air. And for some reason, a lot more happier when you have those fielders there as protection.
Russell, you said previous over that you keep Hasaranga back, hold him back. For me, I feel that he should be bowling now. First reason is, of course, this partnership is growing very quickly, and the second is if it becomes wet.
Upish, long off. Oh, he's put it down. The opportunity came. Asita Fernando spills his lollies.
Well, this can happen if you keep your hands in the pocket for too long, because your focus just changes, and this was an easiest of the catches. You cannot afford to drop these dollies. This is a big miss.
Well, Fernando's not beating the drums today. Well, the break did come. Sri Lanka don't help themselves. 65 for none.
Pearl 3D Skin Serum. Vitamin C से मिले lighten and brighter skin. Hyaluronic acid hydrates and replants. Vitamin B3 reduce करे dark spots. Golden Pearl 3D Skin Serum.
What a start Pakistan got in pursuit of 289 runs. These two batters are going great guns. Both the openers finding boundaries consistently. Chamira into the attack, bowling his second over. Oh, the space off the surface is helping Pakistan. Batters out there in the middle. And for Sri Lanka to make a comeback into the game and also scoring rate to plummet, they need to pick up wickets and in bundle too.
Yeah, good evening, Amir, and good evening all. Yeah, the ball's coming on to the bat quite nicely. You could see that it's sliding on. And all what the batters are doing is they're using the pace. Timing is so well. The loose balls they've pounced on, but any good length areas, they're just deliberately running it down. Oh, he goes hard. They're in with a mission, and so far it's been a very successful mission.
Oh, the margin of error for the bowlers has reduced drastically. It wasn't a bad delivery by any means. He's sighting the ball big. Just fetched the ball from outside the off stump, and off she went. Another boundary scored. Pakistan racing away.
They're setting the tone, aren't they? In the first game, we were critical as to how they approached it. Of course, different surface. But here, they came out very positively from ball one. Sri Lanka didn't help their cause by spraying it around, but now they've got off to a fly into the 8th over, going at 9+. So even if there is a flutter or a flurry of wickets in the middle, they can afford to kind of take it a little bit easy, play for time. So this opening partnership is turning out to be very, very handy.
Yeah, the asking rate is not challenging at the moment. They can afford to play quietly for a while, but the way these two batters are going, unstoppable they are. There was an opportunity created in the last over. It was an easy catch, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think such catches should be taken, but what Sri Lanka need to tell themselves is the way Pakistan came back in that first game. The openers for Sri Lanka in that first match wouldn't have been as aggressive as this, but they were dominating. They took the Pakistan bowlers on, but then it was wickets that pushed Sri Lanka back. So even here, that should be the strategy. If they can get one or two close to each other, plan obviously has to have two new batters, but to do that you need to first get rid of the set batters.
Well, the best opportunity they got to break this partnership is when Indu Hasaranga can bowl those googlies to the left-handers and can deceive them. But at the moment, the captain relying on pace and himself to break this partnership.
Last ball of the over. Making batting look easy because they're just picking their spots at the moment. They've got 8 in that over, 73 without loss. Those buildings are skyscrapers. They've already built a few skyscrapers in the first 8 overs. Sri Lanka was forced into bowl here. Quite positive that that was not part of his plan. And you spoke about Wanindu Hasaranga. Wanindu Hasaranga naturally is an attacking bowler. And he doesn't really enjoy bowling in the power play. He likes to have a little bit of freedom in terms of his field placing and some protection. But Amir, as an attacking bowler, seeing where Pakistan is, it's a big call he's got to make. He's got to go after wickets anyway.
Well, in trouble, you have to go to your premier bowler. Well, the name of the game for the bowlers and the fielding side is to pick up wickets. If they aren't coming, you have to resort to your premier bowler, whoever he is, whether it's Wanindu Hasaranga or anybody else. Or maybe Asita Fernando. Yes, he was all over the shop with the new ball, but you got to bring on your premier bowlers to be able to remove this batsman out there in the middle.
Yeah, they're doing it quite easily. And the thing is, it's been risk-free cricket. It's better. It's a very precious dot ball for the Sri Lankan captain. Needs to bring it back, needs to kind of bring in some control, needs a few overs. Oh, this is miscued. Will this be taken? Asita Fernando again, this time. Has it, in fact, Janit Lianage, has he dropped it? Oh, for the second time, for a moment I was unsighted, I wasn't sure. But that body language, that tells you the story.
Yeah, Lianage did well to get underneath that ball, had eyes peeled on it, and once his hands hit the ground, the ball spilled out. Another opportunity went begging.
Dot to end the over. That's a good over for Charita Sri Lanka, 76 without loss. Now that required rate, which was hovering close to 6 runs and over, little over 5. 5.2 with all wickets in hand. Pakistan sitting very pretty. One more over still left in the power play. So you couldn't have emphasized the fact more about the importance of wickets. That was unnecessary. Fakhar Zaman looking to swing across. But Sri Lanka needs wickets at this stage, and they need wickets close to each other and need them quickly.
Yeah, you're right. Sri Lanka needs wicket, and the crowd need to take selfies.
Well, I can tell you what is the best one could use for selfies. Maybe we can tell you after this ball. There you are. Vigo tell. You couldn't have asked for anything better. That's a selfie moment, I'll tell you. That's a crowd selfie moment with Vigo Tell smartphone. You're spot on, Amir. Four runs behind square leg. But at least now they haven't had a boundary for the last 12 balls, so that's a respite for Sri Lanka.
Yeah, damage has been done. Well, finding frequent boundaries by these two Pakistani openers, and now they just can sail along. The pressure is off. They can choose some deliveries. They can afford that.
All eyes will be on Vanidu when he comes on to bowl, because he's the one Sri Lanka's main ace as a bowler. Or bowled. Bounced a bit, left the left-hander. But really didn't carry through to the wicket-keeper.
Yeah, one thing really surprised me when you talk about Sri Lankan strategy with the ball. Yes, both the batters, openers from the Pakistani side are left-handers, and yes, Saim Ayub was picked up by Asika Fernando with that in-swing in delivery. To have both the bowlers bowling similar kind of deliveries, it actually helped. And there was exaggerated movement in the air. They couldn't control it. I was surprised to see that Chamira wasn't given the new ball. That's in the air and taken this time around. Sri Lanka third time lucky. It looked like picking up wicket, Chamira, and he has.
Finally, they've managed to hold on to a catch, as you said, third time lucky. And Saim Ayub, who looked very threatening, looking to go over the top, bit of extra pace. And look at where he's batting. He's quite a few feet down the pitch, looking to force the pace. And hitting close to the splice and caught at mid-off. So that's an important wicket. Saim Ayub out for 33. Pakistan in the 10th over, 77 for 1. Babar Azam, what a player he is. Just 31 years, that average. Look at the numbers, 1900s, 3750s, 53 the average. Strike rate of just under 90, and I hope you can hear the crowd. They're chanting Babar, Babar. That's how popular he is. But this is perfect for Sri Lanka. Why I say that is, it's very likely that Vanidu Hasaranga will come on at the other end. So he's got a new batter to try and bowl to, so he can try and look to control things a little bit. But first things first. Good length delivery, good pace.
Yeah, some will be critical why Saim Ayub need to do that. But that's how he plays. He likes to live on the edge.
Well, he'll be kicking himself because he looked quite good. He looked well set. And he was good for some runs. I don't think he'll be happy with what he made because he was middling the ball. Last ball with a slip in. Good finish by Dushmanta Chamira. Excellent over. 10 overs done. 77 for 1.
Well, that's how the power play panned out for Pakistan. These are not the highlights. That's what happened in 10 overs. Plenty of boundaries scored. Through the onside, through the offside, aerial shots, few chances for the Pakistani batsmen. Not the right technique. Now he was unlucky. And finally, a relief for Sri Lankans, were able to dismiss Saim Ayub.
Well, he's going to continue, the off spinner, Asalanka. So which means now Chamira, he's bowled 3 overs, 1 for 14. Oh, he's got a bit of breathing space. I think he realizes there is something going on the surface, so he's bowling himself a little bit more because he's the fifth bowling option.
A couple of opportunities. And in the first over, he tried to get the ball, a lot of pace to the left-handers, but now he's bowling slower with a loop. And that's it.
Yeah, you're right, actually. He's bowling.
Tell you, Roshan, that was a brave decision to bowl himself on such a track which has freshened up. The ball was coming onto the bat quite nicely, and both the batters going great guns. And to be able to bowl in the power play, yep, it was brave of him.
So far, his figures have been quite respectable. After we went for runs in the first over, he's just conceded 15 into the third. And you're absolutely right, with just 2 fielders outside the circle, not being a frontline bowler. That was fired in by the skipper. He's handy as an off-spin. He comes on and gets you wickets. But I'm not so sure that he's bowled in power plays. So he had to sort of break the rhythm. He had to break. .81 for 1. So I like Chamira continuing into his 4th over because they got a wicket. It's important that they look for a second one. And Barber will be a massive wicket. But as a captain, Amir, just thinking ahead now, they've opened up one end. They've got a new batter in. Yes, LANKA has bowled 3 overs and he's conceded, 17 runs, but he's a part-time. He's not a frontline bowler. So do you think time for Hasaranga to come on to try and see whether he could look for another wicket, because he's Sri Lanka's best option in terms of wicket taking, or this man should continue?
Well, you have built up a case for Vanindu Hasaranga quite nicely and intelligently. I'm afraid to differ with you.
All right, I'm getting your opinion.
Sure?
Yeah.
You won't be offended?
No, not at all.
No, I think it's time for Vanindu Hasaranga to be introduced. I'm with you. That's in the air. But falls in no man's land. He likes to live dangerously. Fakhar Zaman.
Short delivery. That time not in control. But what about that fielder? For a moment I thought Hasaranga was slightly uncomfortable. He was limping a little bit. I hope nothing serious, the way he ran towards it.
The reason why you need to bring Hasaranga on, because he dismissed Babar Azam with a googly in the previous outing. So pressure will be there.
It's a new batter in. So get your best bowler if you can. Because Sri Lanka needs wickets. They're not going to win by bowling dots.
Yeah, you got to net him early.
So who's your best option? Right, in terms of option, you got a massive option where you can download an app of Ficker Free and make sure that you have insurance at your fingertips. So that's the Ficker Free moment. So don't forget to download that app and get that insurance now. Get the insurance you need on your fingertips. See, the wicket has given Sri Lanka a semblance of control. Now, the last 30 balls has conceded just 20 runs. And that run rate that was going at 9+ is around 7.
Yeah, it was aforementioned. If you want a run rate to plummet, you have to pick up wickets. Yeah, ever since Saim Ayub has been removed, some sort of a semi's been bowled, no boundary conceded. And they have to carry on ramping up the pressure on Pakistani batters.
Also, Amir, you talk about the dew. So we know what the dew could do to a ball. I mean, with the seam just becoming a bit damp, it's not going to be easy. So the dew hasn't really made its appearance so far by the looks of it. So that's another reason to me to have one into bowling quickly.
Yeah, but plenty of moisture in the air. Also, you could feel that the turf is very cold. So there is moisture, and that's why the pitch has freshened up. There is consistent bounce. It's hitting the bat now. Oh, that one read off the length. Bowl that bouncer with sailing pace. Hit him on the head, hence concussion protocols.
Well, it's a good thing. Concussion protocol is always
मैं
good.
हमेशा रेकमेंड करता हूँ शैम्पू प्लस हेयर सीरम का ट्यूल एक्शन। न्यू सेट एंड टच केराटिन शैम्पू बालों के डैमेज सेल्स को रीजनरेट करें। सेट एंड टच केराटिन शैम्पू।
No mistake. It's the end of the over. 84 for 1.
When you're defending a power score, you have to take half chances. That was a simple one. Not the right technique. The fingers were pointing towards the ball. And hence, it hit the ridge on the hand. And then he did all the hard work. Couldn't hold on to that one. Brought disappointment for the coach.
And eventually this was the final. This was the wicket. Lanka holding on to it. But you're right. I mean, you're not defending a massively big score. 288 is an all right score. I still feel Sri Lanka could have got past 300. But they were in positions to do that. So now, on a good surface, we've spoken about it. The ball skidding on, dew expected. Even half chances need to be taken. So still, I think the physio is out there, just making sure. I think they changed the helmet straight away. That's one of the things they do, and that's a requirement, I believe.
Had to make few adjustments, making sure it's the right size. You don't want, as a batsman, for the grill to move, obscure your vision. Made sure everything in place. Fakhar Zaman, he's ready.
Right, so now we see Manidu Hasaranga. This was expected and no surprises. And it's a good move. With Babar Azam on strike, it's a very good move that he's bringing him on.
Great matchup this. Great matchup.
We'll bowl a lot of wrong runs here. He would want to pitch it up a little bit more. He starts off with a slightly shorter delivery, but push through a bit quicker. But when he gets into a nice zone, you'll see the ball coming out quite nicely. That's better. That's more like it.
Yeah, his main weapon is that trajectory he bowls with. That's where he confuses the batsman, whether to play off the front foot or go back. If you're indecisive, he catches you. A bit of turn. That's encouraging for Hasaranga.
And quite early in the piece, he bowls a leg break. Generally, he bowls a lot of wrong uns, the top spinners. That's clever bowling. Now they brought in a slip. So this is good captains. You need to attack. You need to look for wickets, and that turned. That turned a bit. And Sri Lanka is not going to win with bowling by bowling dots. They can build pressure. But what they need, well, I can't overemphasize it anymore. What they need is wickets.
Roshan, steady on. You are getting desperate in the com box.
Not desperate. But that's stating the obvious. But the last 30 balls, this tells you how much Sri Lanka has brought back some control. Is just 12 runs.
Oh, yes.
Only a single. So Vanithu Hasaranga starts off with a good over. 85 for 1.
Wear your attitude. Darren Sami by Oscar Ali.
Yeah, Roshan, the control you were alluding to. It happened after Sri Lanka was able to remove Saima Ayub. And boundary is elusive. It's been 34 deliveries now. Since the last boundary was scored by a Pakistani batter. Another bowling change. Madhushan was in the air. Hard chase from Chamira. Couple of runs for Babar Azam.
Very nearly, very nearly. Madhushan needs to bowl a good spell here. He went for runs in the first spell, and look at this. Babar Azam just pushing it, playing a bit too early, I thought. Just a touch early. Oh, for a few more inches. Had that outstretched hand. Sometimes these stick. He can't afford to bowl giving him width. He needs to be tight because he needs to support Vanithu Hasaranga here. Hasaranga is going to create the pressure at one end, so the support he can give is to bowl as tight as possible, build the dots.
But bowling to a left-hander has been a challenge for Pramod. He sprayed the ball around, has conceded 22 runs already. And now he has to bowl to Fakhar Zaman. He somehow got some rhythm in his batting and the momentum.
5 fours, he's got 33 of 40. At the moment, against Madhushan, it's just knocking it into gaps. But it's so important that Sri Lanka bowl in partnerships. We talk about batting partnerships, Amir, and a bowling partnership is needed here for Sri Lanka.
Chamira has to make sure Pramod, who's feeling a lot of pressure, stays calm. Get his thinking right. Pramod needs to shake off any negativity he has in his mindset.
Right, you talk about a lot of things in Pakistan, but this is very famous. Tapal tea. Fans enjoying some tea at the Tapal Tea Lounge. Pakistan's #1 tea brand. Been enjoying a lot of it here in the commentary box.
You've been keeping that tea boy very busy, Roshan.
I love tea. I'm a tea drinker, you know. I come from a tea country.
Not cool beverages?
Tea country. Sri Lanka tea, Ceylon tea. They got 5 now of 5 deliveries. And with a minimum of fuss. Just steering the ball on either side of the pitch. So this will help them to relax a little bit against Wanindu Hasaranga. They don't need to take chances against him because they're getting runs at the other end. So that's why I say that bowling partnerships are so important. 2 is the call. They'll push for 2 and they will get 2. So that's a productive over for Pakistan. 7 of it, 92 for 1, 14 done. And it's time for some drinks.
Wear your attitude. Darren Sami by Asghar Ali.
मैं हमेशा रेकमेंड करता हूँ शैम्पू प्लस हेयर सीरम का ट्यूल एक्शन। न्यू सेट एंड टच केराटिन शैम्पू बालों के डैमेज सेल्स को रीजनरेट करें। सेट एंड टच केराटिन शैम्पू
100% grey coverage with no fear of hair damage. Permanent color with Italian formulation. So right side. Hello hair color. Colors to die for.
Welcome back to the Rawalpindi Cricket Stadium. Out of the drinks break, and the equation stands at Pakistan requiring another 197 runs in the remaining 36 overs. Fakhr out there with Babar Azam now, 92 for 1. Fakhr, well, he's had his fair share of luck. First time put down, simple take you might call it, by Asita Fernando on 20. And once again in a similar position, a little bit to the right, this time Janat Lianage. Relatively difficult chance, but spilled right from the center of his hands. On impact, maybe, or probably never had full control of the ball. So 2 lives given to Fakhr. He's on 36. and he's made the most of it with the 5 boundaries he's hit so far. Come out with trying to put the pressure back onto the bowlers. Hasn't shied away from playing his stroke in spite of those 2 drop chances. And you expect with Fakhr a bit of a element of luck and a lot of strikes onto that leg side. Sri Lanka at the same stage was 64 for 2. But Pakistan have definitely been helped by some very wayward bowling by Sri Lanka with the new ball. That's why I see the Fernando 3 overs 30. Pramod as well could never find that radar. The swinging brand new ball into the left-handers. 1 wicket, that is to Chamira so far. Russ, a matchup that is always on the cards is leg spin, in particular leg spinners and their googlies to Babar Azam.
Worked in the first ODI as well. But the pressure is on Hasaranga though. Now when Hasaranga goes searching for wickets, he tends to toss them up. He tends to force the batters to drive. It's about dangling the carrot. And for that he needs to stay patient and work his way in. Now if your thoughts went back to that first ODI, his first spell was brilliant. He just did that. Picked up all those wickets. Second spell, when the partnership was on, he knew he was the only option Sri Lanka had, and every delivery was right underneath the batter's eyes because he was just buying the shot all the time. He's very, very effective if he has the opportunity to just stay there and thereabouts. Not actually give the shot. Now in this over also, he's given the drive on 2 occasions.
And great support from the other end as well from the captain. And together the last 43 balls, we haven't seen a boundary from Pakistan. Just over 7 overs now.
For Hasaranga to be effective, there's got to be pressure on the other end. If not, the 2 batters will be happy to see him off. So important you bowl as a unit. So the others have to step up. Asita Fernando, Pramod Madhushan have been quite poor today. Slight inside edge.
Like you said earlier, he picked him up to a googly in that previous game as well. This time the leg spinner slightly tossed up. Inside edge onto the front pad for Babar Azam. On the full. Oh, that is top effort. Really good. I'm sure they'll have a look, but that is a very good effort from the boundary rider. And hopefully he hasn't done his shoulder in the process.
Pathum Nisanka, it was the dew helping him to slide on, but this is my point. He searches and in turn gives the loose ball. I think Nisanka's done really well.
Great effort. Really, really good. And definitely saves a couple of runs. 96 for 1. Sri Lanka just holding things together. Excellent period after Pakistan was 77 for no loss. Talk about the breakup of how this game has gone. Pakistan off to a flyer. First 8 overs, 73 for no loss. The next 7 overs, just the 23 runs, and more importantly, the wicket of Saim Ayub as well. So the scoring rate has substantially dried up. But what Pakistan do have in their favour is still The run rate is well over 4, required rate 5.5. So they do have the platform.
And it gets easier. Dew just started to form. And it'll get tougher. It'll slide on. And you'll be able to hit through the line like that. Hundreds on the board for Pakistan. Hadusan searching for swing. That disappeared maybe 13 overs ago.
This is a marvelous stroke. Babar Azam with his touch of class and timing. Straight down the ground. Leans into the shot with his weight, never trying to overhit it.
That'll put pressure on this man. Cannot leak runs from the other end. The two opening bowlers just didn't control the swinging ball. 7 overs between over.
Now you just heard a bit of the anguish as well. Disappointment from Hasaranga himself as he's bowled that one.
Searching for the glory ball. Doesn't work like that. You generally have to set batters up. It's a process picking up wickets through and bowl that wicket-taking ball. And Anuruj, you know jolly well, sometimes the wicket comes off a delivery that doesn't do much. It's because you've got the batter thinking, you got him confused. He's looking for, or playing for something else and makes a mistake.
It comes down to sequencing the over as well, understanding, like you said, how to set batters up. What would the first delivery of the over potentially be when the batter is looking to take the attack? Are you looking to consistently hold a player down the other for a single to a particular batter because you feel the favourable matchup is on the other end? So it's all about sequencing your over the end with setting him with 3 or 4 balls and then bowling that magic delivery. Or are you allowing for a single to a particular batter because you feel the favourable matchup is on the other end? So it's all about sequencing your over, especially in which phase of the game you're bowling. Tough art leg spin, that is for sure. But if somebody's got it mastered, it is Hasaranga, amongst some of the greatest leg spinners in the modern game going around.
Oh, come on, Uruj, say it, say it.
Well, I'll say it, Russell Arnold, for you. Wawindu Hasaranga. One of the best going around, 106 for 1. .106 for 1, plays 81 for 2. Pakistan well ahead.
Well, he's going off the field, one in the Hasaranga. Earlier, I did hear Roshan say that he thought Hasaranga did not. Earlier, I did hear Roshan say that he thought Hasaranga did not move smoothly. I was with him. I also thought he ran across gingerly. And he's also struggled with injuries. Hamstring, groins. So you just tend to wonder whether he's done something there. Just gone for a bit of treatment maybe. Just wondering.
To see him walk out of the playing field. 3 overs for just the 7 runs are his figures so far tonight in this game. And for Sri Lanka, Sharit Asalanka will want not just Hasaranga's bowling but also him in the field.
It's charged fast and comes out.
Comes out driving smart. It is Invirex EV, Pakistan's smartest hatchback EV, Invirex Zeo. What did you say, Russ?
Charge fast, drive smart. So hopefully he drives out there at the end of the over.
Well, at the moment he seems like in no hurry, absolutely.
Well, he drives fast, he said.
From Pakistan's point of view, you look at Fakhar Zaman now, hasn't been in the best of forms, but with a couple of chances to his name now, he has got himself in 40 off, 52, 5-4 so far. He must take this opportunity to bat for as long as he can in the game, try and convert into a big score. Hasn't had a ODI 100 in a couple of years now. Babar Azam also has been shy of those 3 figures in a very long time. Good early call, a good run in the end.
Against the quicks, suddenly he started the back muscle there. Obviously a stiffness will lead through the legs and affect your hamstring. Make sure that you're nice and loose out there. But after a while, He struck the ball well against the seamers, but once the spinners came on, he's again looked a little scratchy. But time out in the middle and runs behind you tend to sort out these little issues. So the start gives him, or the express start of the openers gives him that opportunity to take a bit of a breather.
That's why the Sri Lankan captain, just with a change in tempo of the bowling, Asita Fernando back in. Expensive in his first 3, went for 30. Back in. Expensive in his first 3, went for 30.
Pearl 3D Skin Serum. Vitamin C से मिले lighten and brighter skin. Hyaluronic acid hydrates and replants. Vitamin B3 reduce करे dark spots. Golden Pearl 3D Skin Serum.
So Hasaranga still not on the park. And that forces LANKA back into the attack.
Top effort by the captain. Brings himself on. Remember, both the drop chances were off his bowling to Fakhar Zaman. Hasaranga not on the park. He wants to keep the spin at one end. We're just speaking about Fakhar Zaman and how his innings has been sort of ebbed and flowed in terms of finding the middle of the bat and not. So whether he does still take that attack to the off spinner with the ball turning away, he was dropped at long off on both occasions. Mid-on is still up in the ring. So if he's looking to hit the ball straight, that is an option for Fakhar.
Good by LANKA. His objective should be to try and get through the over for 4 runs maybe. Not concede that boundary. Get a couple of dots in. He's got a couple here. Now even if he just bowls a delivery, so the batter can hit the deep fielder, concede that single, I think he's doing the job for now. That would be his role, not search.
Well, we'll carry on with Pakistan's leading home appliance brand, Super Asia. Automatic washing machine with the magic of one touch. At the moment, Pakistan and the partnership building in 1s and 2s. 21 deliveries since that last boundary, which also came after 45 deliveries. With Pakistan ahead of the rate, run-a-ball partnership does it from here. Calls for do. The deep fielder had to do a lot of work to his right, allows for the couple of runs. 19 done, 116 for 1.
अनियन की रियल पावर टेस्ट करते हैं. Here's strength. Hello Hair Onion Shampoo wins in style. Onion की real power.
stability in that white worm. It just hangs above the Sri Lankan worm. Pakistan ahead 116 for 1. Sri Lanka at the same stage were 90 for 2. Partnership now 39 between Fakhar and Babar. Spotlight always on Babar Azam. Misfield will get 2 runs. Spotlight always on Babar Azam because of the runs he scored in his international career. He's been the mainstay and was the backbone of Pakistan cricket in that batting for a very long time. But he hasn't scored an international 100 since August 2023 versus Nepal in the Asia Cup. 83 innings in international cricket since then across formats. Long time. He'll want to break that 3-figure mark sooner rather than later. Crunch. That is a Babar Azam special. What a treat for the crowd.
Hits it hard into the ground. It's a large square and it's very solid, it's firm. Look at it skid off. That's all he tries to do. He knows the deep fielder is square. What a lovely punch. No, 83 innings is a long time though for a player of his quality. 2.5 years in those 83 innings. He's got 20 half centuries. Now sometimes players of high class, they go and set the bar so high that even if they tend to perform at a certain level, it feels like a failure. But in this instance, 83 innings is definitely a long time.
Why that's also important is because we put a graphic in the first game where we were comparing Pakistan to the top 5 countries in the world, and Pakistan sat right on the bottom of the charts in number of centuries in recently in ODI cricket. And why that conversation continued was because of the number of games Pakistan has not been winning in terms of getting over the line. So those were important. Yes, the starts are there, but you need at least one of your top order to carry on and make that big 100. Even during the South African ODI series, even here, Babar's just looking better. Every game he's looking better. He's getting starts. He's getting into the 20s and 30s. Just needs to convert. Hang in there. You said it, Russ. Time in the middle. Even the greatest require the time in the middle. But the bar he sets exceptionally high for himself. The numbers for Babar Azam in that South African ODI series: 7, 11, 27. First game against Sri Lanka, 29. And on 31 today. You look at those numbers, he's getting in. He's getting the starts, at least in the last 3 games, in the mid-20s and 30s. We'll hope, all of Pakistan will hope, this crowd will hope, that we're in for a Babar Azam special tonight.
Yeah, shots there showed that Hasaranga ready to come back on the park, so good signs for Sri Lanka.
Done, 124 for 1.
Wear your attitude. Darren Sami by Asghar Ali.
Captain will continue with the ball. The captain will continue with the ball.
Oh, good fielding. Sri Lanka would love to have barber for dinner. I had barber for lunch, Uruj.
Care to elaborate, please?
Well, check the menu that was sent to you. The name of the pasta. I had barber pasta for lunch.
Thanks for the clarification, Russ. Yeah, where we had lunch. The pasta is named after Babar Azam. Well, Sri Lanka, whether they can pick him up as a dessert for dinner, I'm not quite sure. But the interesting matchup that we talk about always on the card, Hasaranga back into the playing field. So we'll see him in action very quickly.
He might have to just hang around for a bit, but not too long. Hasaranga before he can bowl again. But for Sri Lanka, of course, massive issues. That fifth bowler they tend to struggle with. Sri Lanka is now bowling the fifth, but his two main bowlers, Madhushan, Asita Fernando, 9 overs between them. He's just not going to be able to rely on them. So that'll cause problems. How he's going to manage that? They've been going at 77 runs in the 9 overs, those two fast bowlers. Massive issues to deal with. The cold, the dew. Not many runs on the board. And your leading bowlers. Babar's having them for dinner.
Contrasting problems. Not so many for Pakistan at the moment. Fakhar Zaman and Babar Azam have put together 52 between them. Babar's timing has been impeccable so far. Crowd right behind him as well. Fakhar will take strike 129 for 1.
Well, 52 of 69, and Pakistan not in a hurry, scoring at little over 6 runs and over. Fakhar Zaman on 49 of 61 balls. Still on 49, but it's been a good effort, Amir, by this pair of batters. And that opening partnership, that rapid opening partnership, has allowed them to kind of settle down and take it a little bit easier.
Yeah, it's a good news for Pakistan that Fakhar Zaman is amongst runs. He has struggled of late, but this innings will give him a lot of confidence because he occupied the crease, he bid his time, and now cusp of another international 50.
Asita Fernando has gone for a few. He had a very good spell in the first game, but here didn't start off as well as he would have liked to. Sprayed the ball around and as you said, 2 right arm fast bowlers bowling similar lines, swinging into the left pendulum swings.
Now, we saw exaggerated
India single, so India single, so option as a bowler. Well, if he gets you a wicket, that would be a bonus, but his role will be different.
Yeah, already he started out of the crease to go for a big one.
See, Vanidhu Hasaranga is left with 7 more overs. It's how Sri Lanka is looking to use him. I hope he's all right. He went off the field, but he's back. See, as you could see that the ball's just coming on quite nicely.
Yeah, after a blistering start, what Sri Lankan bowlers have achieved, they've managed to bring down scoring rate. It's 5.96 at the moment, but they need to pick up wickets. Maybe he's the answer.
Well, the form he's in and the way he bowled in the first game, he has to be the answer. He's been, well, the form he's in and the way he bowled in the first game, he has to be the answer. He's been nothing more than that. Because a little while earlier when we were on air, I did see that he didn't move as comfortably as he would like. It's good bowling by LANKA. It's good bowling by LANKA. At least his wicket to wicket is accurate. He's bowled a wide, but he's conceded just 3 runs off the bat.
When you bowl with this kind of a pace as a bowler, you've got to be stickler with line and length. And that's what we have seen from him so far. He's been on the money. apart from that wide delivery down the leg. Looking to attack the stumps.
Well bowled. That's what you were talking about, and that was clever. Took pace off. 135 for 1. Right, they've got 12 fours and 1 6. Now Hasaranga's on. He's going to bowl with a slip. Now this is going to be a big moment as far as I'm concerned. The next few overs he's going to bowl will determine to a large extent as to how this game will move. So Sri Lanka will look to him to try and get a wicket, maybe 2 if he can.
Yeah, you're right. Important passage of the play. In the air, into the gap, and he's welcome with a boundary. First boundary after 20. Two deliveries.
Well, not a good start for him. It was a drag down.